All right, we're back now with another podcast for the Rude Barn Boys.
Yes, sir. I'm the Rude
Yeah, I'm the Barn. How is everyone doing today?
Barn. It's another episode.
Yeah,
And
all right.
we got a little quick one to go through today. I like it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a quickie. Podcast, I mean. And today we're gonna talk about something because, like we said before, we try to be as fair as honest as we can. We do lean kind of right center-ish on most things. And when things need to be called out, like the bullshit of Mitch McConnell kind of turning on his own party and Trump because he just doesn't like it, because he's a deep state establishment mother effer. And he and Lindsey Graham, warmonger, who's never had a child or been married or anything in his entire life. Not that I'm judging. It's what it is. Some people are just built that way. But he certainly wants to send your kids off to war all the time. Thanks, Linz. You're a peach. So anyway, so we try to call him out on the right. We try to call him out on the left. Oh, we definitely do call him out on both when we see it. And this is one that we're going to call out about President Trump. That's right. We are going to call out President Trump on this one because this is not something that either one of us agree with. And what are we talking about? In vitro fertilization.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of that? If you haven't, anyway, look it up. So we're going to kind of get into this. And if you ever watch the podcast Chicks on the Right, they also kind of call out people as needed. And they're doing the same thing with Trump. And so I found this. And I'm like, you know what? This is a good topic because I want people to know that, no, we don't agree with everything that everybody says. And we're certainly not in lockstep with everything that Trump is doing. And we're certainly not in lockstep, of course, with other people. And we disagree with a lot with those who have a leftist point of view as well, because they're really, in our eyes, anti-American, and they're really not for the people. They're for themselves and control and authoritarianism that they blame Trump on and things like that. But when Trump does something that we disagree with, we're calling him out.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's fair. And I think that's our job as Americans, is to question our leaders.
Yeah.
Because we put them there.
Mm-hmm. We put them there because they're supposed to represent us and what we as the American people kind of want our country to be run like. And we don't want big government. We really want government to stay the hell out of our lives. Leave us alone. Let us do it. Just give us the opportunity to create what we want. Don't give me things. Don't give me a fish, teach me to fish type of mentality. It's like, I want to be self-sufficient, but they want us dependent on them. So when we call them out on things like that, we will. So now, maybe you've heard Elon Musk talking about things. Now, I think he's probably on the right track here. China has had a one-child policy forever and ever. Okay, for probably 40, 50 years. Okay, one kid, that's all they could have because they've got 1.34 billion people.
Yeah, 3 billion, 1.3 billion.
Yeah, them and India are vying for who's got the most population on the planet now. Anyway, with this
hanging out there in the desert.
Yeah, within 10 to 20 years, apparently, all these people are going to die off. And they don't have replacement population. It's a concern about what's going on here, and that's what we're looking at. Is you got all this push for abortion rights and Planned Parenthood, and which is ironically named that, and things like that are really kind of telling people, hey, don't have children, don't reproduce. So to sustain a population, you need at least one child per parent, so 2. And then really 2 plus. So 2, 3. I don't know how the half kid thing ever worked out. I mean, that poor kid.
Yeah.
Rough life. Yeah. I'm half a child. I'm not a real boy. Anyway, but so there's a concern, and this is why people are brought in from other areas to replenish population, so that you still have a economic growth in your some you think economic growth in your country. And anyway, so he's been talking about encouraging people to have children, which I think is a great idea. It's like, fine, great. If you want children, awesome. If you don't want children, that's okay too. Nobody's chastising you for that.
Mhm.
But let's not also chastise the people who do want to have children as well and be parents, and moms who want to be a mom and not a working mom, and maybe they want to do both, or they want whatever it is. So anyway, so Trump has been pushing for this whole IVF treatment, in vitro fertilization, and he said something that oh yeah, yeah, great, until he says one thing, and that one thing is he wants to mandate it. Oh, oops, that's where you lost me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I completely 100% vehemently disagree with you. No, 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 nine on the mandate.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to encourage without a mandate, just like the COVID shot should have been encouraged but not mandated, and all that other bullshit. That is not freedom. And if you think, oh well, we're saving lives, shut up. We're not saving lives. That's not what it was about. It was about profits, and it was about control and other things like that.
Mhm.
So here's where he talks about this, and this is where they kind of bring this up. And I thought this was a great way to kind of start this episode real quick. So let's get going.
Did not have a good day yesterday. So I don't know what's gotten into him. But he had
This was
some issues
couple weeks
yesterday.
ago, but
And one of them, this was startling news to me, and should be really to any conservative, because he's now saying that part of his
and anyone in
agenda
general,
is
really.
to make us all pay for everybody's IVF procedures, which are hugely expensive, often require more than one round. And if he doesn't make the taxpayers pay for it, he's going to mandate that insurance companies pay for it.
Bullshit.
And
That's bullshit. No,
I don't
no.
understand what he's doing here, because that's a Bernie level proposal.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Not to bring you into it.
Where do you go? And I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay for that.
No, this is
I don't either.
freaking crazy, and especially from a conservative. But here he is explaining it in an interview. He also mentioned it in a speech.
IVF has been an issue that has become political. A lot of people talking about it. What's the Trump administration going to do when it comes to IVF if you get elected?
Right. Well, as you know, I was always for IVF right from the beginning. As soon as we heard about it, it's fertilization, and it's helping women and men and families.
And that's great.
But it's helping women able to have a baby. Some have great difficulty, and a lot of them have been very happy with the results, as you know. And
I don't have any disagreement with that statement right
Yeah,
there.
that's good.
Yeah.
It's all good up until now.
Yeah, I have no problem with any of that. I think it's nailed it. It's the next points that really have an issue with.
what we're doing, and we're doing this because we just think it's great, and we need great children, beautiful children in our country. We actually need them. And we are going to
Beautiful
be,
children.
under the Trump,
He talks.
we are going to be paying for that treatment.
Beautiful children.
We are paying for that treatment.
All
Or
Americans
we
who
are.
want it?
All,
Yeah.
all Americans that get it.
Why? Why?
Yeah, I mean, so if I want to do hair treatment,
Yeah.
like
'Cause you're losing your hair, you're going bald, yeah, or
implants,
whatever.
yeah, or I want to start coloring my hair because I'm going gray. It's a choice I'm making for my life. I think it'll better my life. I think it'll make me more happy. I think it'll make my family more happy. But it's an elective. You know what I mean?
But
I-
Rude,
that's
it's not the
something-
same thing as having a baby. Your hair. Come on, man.
But you understand the irony behind that, though, right? Because now, if we're paying for IVF as taxpayers,
Right. We're already paying for abortions.
well, we're paying to bring more people into the economy, and I fear that that it's going to backfire. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
On
In what
many
way
levels.
are you thinking? Gonna ask you a
I
question.
think in many levels, because you've got um I don't know, you have a lot of people relying on the government, you have a lot of people relying on the state, you have, more burdens on taxpayers now if taxpayers are paying for IVF and babies to be born.
Are you kind of saying that we might be creating more of a welfare type state at that point? Because people who are having trouble, maybe these people who are saying, well, I'll have a baby because right now we're giving more monthly stipend to people on welfare if they have a child because, hey, you have another child and you have to take care of it, right? So you get more money per child, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Please let me know in the comment section if I'm way off base. And if I am, great. Let me know. I'm more than happy to say I was wrong,
Right.
But I think I know exactly what you're saying. And I think I agree with you now that you've kind of mentioned this whole thing that now we're creating a government funded baby factory in a sense.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well put. Yeah. No, not in a sense. That's what we're doing.
Right.
Well, that's what he's proposing, at least.
Right. It's a baby factory.
It's the
And
best baby factory. It's
the
beautiful baby
most
factory.
beautiful baby factory, the most excellent. It's going to be the greatest baby factory of great, great babies.
Beautiful babies.
Beautiful babies. Because that's Trump. Okay, at this point is not enough to make me go, you know what? No, he's definitely still the better candidate, and I think he can be swayed that, you know what, this is probably not a good idea. The government should not be freaking funding everything. Please keep the government smaller, keep them out of our freaking face so we can do what we want without them interfering in every aspect of our lives. Because they want to take care of us from cradle to grave.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that, because Trump doesn't do this very often, and it's one of the reasons why I like Trump is,
Right.
he's not talking about creating a government that needs
Is
to
going to
take
do all
care of
that,
its
right?
people. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what, that's why I like the right over the left.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to create a dependent state. He wants to create independence for,
But
individuals.
but I see where you're going, and I think this
Mhm.
could be something that could be turned into that with the next Democratic, leftist, whatever administration who will
Mhm.
take this. Well, we're just taking Trump's policy and running with it and making it bigger and better.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then you create that dependency,
Mhm.
and you create a mother effect,
Yep.
and that's when it all starts to head toward the old commie kind of
Mhm.
way of doing things. And
Because when they dictate what you can and can't do with that child, where that child can get their education, education in school and high school and elementary
and
and
man
college and
mandate vaccines on them,
uh,
like you said, where they can go to school, where they can't go to school,
yeah.
if they can procreate, if they can't.
Yeah.
What's next?
What wasn't
What's
it?
next?
Wasn't it Hillary or I think it was Hillary, not Kamala, that said um, the children are our children, something to that
Yeah,
effect. Do you remember?
yeah.
Was that?
Oh, dude, that gave me chills when I heard that. That
Oh,
was
oh, really?
disgusting.
My children are your children, really?
Yes.
Because I don't see
Yeah.
you coming in and helping me deal with their teething issues, with their emotional distress. Because my teenage daughter now has boyfriend issues and is crying because she thinks she's inferior or she didn't get enough likes on her freaking Snapchat, TikTok post or whatever. And you're not there to f you.
Mhm.
They are not your children. Whoever said, I think it was Hillary. Please let me know in the comments if you remember that.
I think it was
And we'll
Hillary.
try to find that. But yeah, it's get the F out of my house, get the F out of oh my God, out of my life and out of my kids' lives and everything else. Yeah, let's go. Let's move on a little bit because we don't have much time.
All Americans that need it. So we're going to be paying for that treatment. or we're going to be mandating that the insurance company pay.
No.
So that was
You think insurance rates are going to go up? Remember the $25,000 tax credit, mind you, $25,000 tax credit that Kamala wants to give to was it illegals only to get into a house? So you don't
Yeah.
think that the cost of that house is going to be bumped up 25, 50, $100,000 more?
Yeah, you're still gonna have to pay for it. That's
Dumbasses.
what people don't. Yeah, that's people don't realize. It's like somebody's gonna pay for it, and it's you that's gonna pay for it.
And we're
Because
all
the
going
thing
to
is
get
too is
screwed.
instead of taking that 50-year mortgage out, it's going to be a 75-year mortgage, or instead of that 75, it's going to be a 100-year mortgage. You're going to pay for it eventually.
But she gives it even, regardless of all that, but she gives it as a tax credit. It not money up front, so you can actually put it as a down payment. From what I
Yeah.
understand, and they could have changed that, but I don't think so. It's like it sounds great because it's full of shit. There is nothing to any of these freaking policies that she's trying to buy votes. And this is
Yeah.
a vote buying scheme also by Trump in a sense, because he's trying to make it sound great. Oh, you can have children, and the government, which is us, by the way, the government doesn't do anything but literally print money. They don't actually create money and income.
Yes.
We pay for it. So when they say the government is taking care of it, no, it's us, the taxpayer. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's stop with this happy-go-lucky. Like, no, I'd rather hear him say, look, I want to encourage people. We'll figure out a way to help out without mandating, without telling insurance. Because if I have insurance and my wife and I are past the point where we're having children, our girls are grown, they're 25 and 23, and we're not having any more kids. But now my insurance policy that I'm paying for, or my wife is paying for, or whatever, is going to cover something that I have absolutely no need for. That's what we
Yeah.
call socialism,
Yeah, that is.
and I don't want to pay for it. I don't need
Why
it.
should we? Why should we?
Yeah.
And then the
Not
shitty
my
thing is,
choice.
yeah. And I'm gonna be. Don't you think we're taxed enough without having to pay? Pay even more for elective
Freebies, giveaways.
giveaways and giveaways that are going to be that are going to eventually be strain on our economy
Yeah.
and strain on our welfare system
Oh, yeah.
and a strain in our schools. And I don't know, man. I don't
Anybody who's willing to vote for a higher tax rate, sales tax rate, whatever, or an increase in taxes in general, obviously doesn't pay a whole lot of taxes or doesn't realize how much they're getting taken out of their paychecks every month, 2 weeks, whatever. And it's like, wait a minute, if you were to see how much waste, how much government waste we have, and here's the other thing: when is it that the government ever does without, like we do when times are tough? We have to cut back on steak and lobster. We have to cut back on buying a new TV. Well, I'll just keep the old one for a little bit while longer. The government always gets the newest, latest, greatest, keeps spending, keeps increasing spending for all the bullshit government programs it's funding right now and wastes so much money on. They never go without. So we're always the ones paying. We are the ones paying more. So when they keep spending shit and inflation goes up the roof, and now you're paying $3-4 for a dozen of eggs, and milk is now $3-4-5 a gallon, or the basics that you need, and gas is at $3.50, $4, $4.50, $5 a gallon. We're the ones paying for it. We make less, we may have less work because now companies we work for or people who come and buy our products aren't buying as many because they're cinching up their belt because things are tighter. Why is it the government can keep spending? They never, ever, ever cut. They want more and more and more from us every freaking year.
Yeah, they do, and it's never ending. And I guess I feel like, um, if we were better, if we were spending our money in, well, if they were
More
spending
efficient
our
ways.
money,
Yeah.
in more efficient ways, and not just giving it away to not U.S. citizens and not America, then maybe we could afford to do that.
Well, yeah.
Maybe we could. Maybe I'd be on the other side of that argument. It's like, well, hey, man, we got a lot of surplus here.
Well, yeah.
We can help people out. But here's the thing, though. We already have a homeless epidemic.
Hmm.
Crime rates are going through the roof.
Hmm.
We've got terrorist cells in the U.S. operating as we speak.
Whoa, what? How is that possible?
And we're not spending money on that. We're not spending money to
fund the
build
terrorist
shelters.
cells? Oh, to stop the terror. My bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 'Cause
We're not-
I thought, and you know what? I'm probably not wrong. We probably are funding those terrorist cells.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like you're
Yeah.
all jokes aside, you're
Yeah.
not far off.
Yeah.
Which is
every good joke is based in reality.
Yes.
So, well, yeah. Look at what's happened in Chicago, in the South Side of Chicago, where all the traditional Black neighborhoods are, and these people have been inundated with the placement of these illegals coming in to their cities and taking over their schools to sleep, facilities to house these illegals, and so on and so on. And then they're taking and now they find out that these illegals are getting these stipends on debit cards of
Yeah.
$2-3 grand a month or whatever like that. What happened to our people? And that's why they're up in arms going, you know what? And they may stop voting for these Democrats and these and Republicans who are voting to allow and shipping these people in, flying them in from other countries into here, bypassing the border, and then shoving all these people into Chicago, into New York, into Denver, into every city in this nation, Springfield, Ohio, for example, things like that. And these people are going, wait a minute, I'm struggling. I've lived here. I've grown up here. I'm a citizen. I'm an American. I love this country. I don't like who's running it. I don't necessarily agree with things they do, whether whoever it is in power. I agree with some things. I don't agree with other things, but I am getting screwed and I can't make ends meet. But people who have never been here before are getting freebies, are getting free healthcare, free schooling, free education, free housing, free food stamps, and on and on and on, while our people are struggling. While our vets who have been forced to go off to war, who have mental problems from the psychological damage that's been done from the shit they've seen and done.
They're not getting mental health care or physical
legs blown off, whatever. Right.
They should be getting.
They should be the ones.
But you have free health care for these immigrants. You have basically an unlimited cash card.
Yep.
And unlimited food card.
Yep.
And stipends for housing. Some of them have paid housing.
Mm-hmm.
Stipends for vehicles.
And then some are taking over housing, like the Venezuelan gangs that are going on in Aurora, Colorado, and elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think that's actually happening, then your head is in the sand, because that is happening. When people report this, who are the city officials, go, no, everything's great in our city. Oh, is it? Because I'm sure you're trying to, look good.
Well,
don't want to show the evil underbelly.
Yeah, any good mayor that's trying to protect his city and trying to,
pretend he's doing a good job.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that, it's his fault or he let this happen, but at the same time, if you don't do anything about it, you're kind of letting it happen.
Yeah. You've made your bed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So going back to this whole thing is we're funding all of this stuff, people.
Yeah, sorry, we went down a road there, but yeah, we're already funding.
But I'm going to circle back Saki on this.
Do it, my brother,
and just let home. We keep paying for all this shit, and they keep sucking more out of us. It's like we're squeezing blood from a stone right now for most people. And the people who this doesn't affect are the elites, the people in power, the people in charge, the people who make a lot of money, the people who are voting for us to be more miserable in a roundabout way. Oh, they're not doing that. Well, okay, I'm not saying that all the rich are bad. There's a lot that are good, but then there are, like anybody,
There
bad
are
as well. And
yeah.
yeah, and we're all paying for that. The poor, the middle class, the upper middle class are the ones that are paying for all of this. And then now Trump wants to put this in as a mandate that's a roundabout tax because it's going to increase your insurance rates to cover for all these people to do something that they're making a choice to have, just like the bullshit plan to try to pay off student loan debt that Biden and Harris want to do, which all that's going to do is cause you and me and everybody who's no longer in college or didn't go to college to pay for all of that for the people who have the privilege of being able to, quote unquote, maybe get a better job because they have a degree. So they're already going to make more money.
Well,
Possibly.
I guess, a question that I have is how many times, even with Trump, I mean, like we said, we question the people that we back as well.
Right.
But how many times can we say yes without receiving any benefit from it?
Mm-hmm.
How many times are we going to do that before we're left with nothing?
Right.
The average taxpayer, the middle class, we're middle class.
Yeah.
Well, we're what's left of middle class, basically.
Right. Exactly.
And there's going to be nothing left. We give and give and give and give until we have nothing for ourselves, and we're saying yes, hoping that it will benefit us somehow, some way in the long run, with false hopes and promises and glitter.
Right.
And I just that's what bothers me, and it's what scares me, because we're saying yes as a collective,
right, to help other people yet again without any benefit, at least a little coming back to us.
Just a little bit. I don't want much, but just a little bit. Bring gas down a little for us.
But
Bring
what we're
groceries
voting,
down
right?
for
But
us.
what we're
Bring
voting
wages
for,
up a little bit for us. Like, come on.
what we're voting for is these people are living the life of Riley, man.
Yeah.
But we're not. And it's taking, I don't know about you, but I work my ass off for everything I make. I know you kind of skate by and you're a trust fund baby, or not you? Oh, my bad.
Man, I don't make money off these looks, buddy. I can work.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We work our asses off for what we have. Nothing's been ever given to us.
Yeah.
We have to bust our ass. If we're not working, we're not making money. And yet here we are, glad, and everybody else who thinks this is a wonderful idea to help all these people out who are just coming into this country illegally, passing the line, by the way. While everybody else waits in line right here, they're looking at, oh, hey, look at these people walking right past. I've been waiting in this line for 2 hours to get on this ride, and then you guys just walk right in.
Yeah.
Bullshit. So we're supposed to pay and pay and pay for everybody else to live the life of Riley. Oh, well, it's not that much money. Hey, to them,
it is.
It is.
Then this is the most money that they've ever had in their lives.
They don't even people that make a few bucks a day normally.
Exactly. They don't even know what to do with it.
I mean, some people make more. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying a lot of the poor illegals that are coming in from countries like Haiti or El Salvador or Nicaragua or Honduras or whatever, China. There's a lot of Chinese people, a lot of Middle Eastern, a lot of whatever. A lot of these people coming here are coming for a better life, because if they were doing well in their own countries, they probably wouldn't be looking to come here. Most likely. Maybe they will, but
I mean, they're the rich elite of those countries are not coming here seeking asylum. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it's people who this is like they're millionaires now, in relatively speaking, So to continue on, because I know we got to get this wrapped up. Let's continue
Yeah.
on a little bit more with what he was talking about.
An interview, and then this similar was from his
I'm
rally.
announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated
All
with
costs. What does that mean?
IVF treatment, fertilization for women.
Yeah, I know.
IVF
No, thank
treatment.
you. Sorry. This
Because
doesn't
we
even
want
sound
more
good.
babies, to put it very nicely.
Well, that's great.
And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes, so that parents.
Okay. Do people realize that when you're deducting the expenses for newborns, that's coming from somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
Because it needs to be paid for by somebody else somewhere
Somebody has
else.
to pay for it. And all costs? What does that mean? Does that mean
Exactly.
hospital stays? Does that mean lost wages from being out for 2-3 months while you have your newborn care?
Yeah. And if you're getting paid, how long do you stay out?
Yeah. Are you talking about complications? If there's complications with the delivery, are we paying those costs too?
Well, that would be the humanity. That would be humanity. That would be the human thing to do. Rude. I mean, but yeah, all costs. It's very vague. It's very, hey, we want to buy your vote is basically what he's trying to say. And he doesn't need to do this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. He doesn't need to do this. And maybe you're right. Hopefully this is a rope-a-dope move on his part with this, and nothing actually comes of it. But there are going to be people out there that kind of hold him to the fire of it. But if it doesn't pass, then no harm, no foul. You know what I mean?
Well, like it was never
I think
said.
that he might be banking on the fact that it's not going to pass.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah.
But having said that,
Listen,
I gotta run, brother.
Yeah.
So let's leave that there. Let the folks contemplate that a little bit, and sound off in the comments. Let us know what you think, because we always want to hear what you think, and we love to engage in conversation. So yeah,
and let us know if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea, and if it's a good idea, why, and why would it be beneficial to have it mandated that we all taxpayers all pay for it, and it's going to be the insurance companies, we'll just add this into the cost of your insurance, even if you don't need it. Why, if you're paying insurance, why are you paying for something you don't ever need? I don't need to pay for child care services or whatever would be covered for something that I don't need. I don't cover shit I don't need. I don't pay. I want $100,000 of car replacement when I'm driving a $20,000 Camry. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You don't overpay for shit you don't need. And why would you pay for this if you don't need it? Some people do. Great. Awesome. But I don't need it. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want it mandated. And I don't want you all to pay for it either, because if you all are paying for it and I'm pissed off because I don't want to pay for it, I'm going to end up paying for it also.
Well, yeah, let us know, because maybe me and the barn missed something. Maybe we didn't think this through all the way. Yeah. Maybe we didn't ask enough questions. But yeah, keep asking questions, gang.
Yep, ask those questions, and let's join us for the next one. We appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, and let everybody else know about this. And hopefully, we've talked about and brought up something in your head. You might think, oh yeah, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Anyway, gang, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, if you like us and if you like what we're talking about, you want to hear more from us, right there underneath Barn's name there, right there, etsyshop.com/shop/the Rude Barn. Go check out what we got there. We got some merch. We got some fun stuff. And, every dollar goes back to helping us put this show on. So
continue improving it for you.
Yes, improvements. All right. Yeah.
Thanks again, everyone. Have a great one. We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Peace out.
Mi vida con la fe que venir